What's going on, everyone? Cubeologist here today, and as you can see, we're going to be setting up a 2x2. So I gathered up all the supplies you'll need in order to do everything that I'm going to do to this cube today, and as you can see, they are a knife, some heavy silicone lube, some Maru Lube, which is actually really light, and a screwdriver, and of course the cube. So let's get into it. So as you can see, I'll be setting up the Fengshi Xingyu today, and I hope that I'm pronouncing that correctly now. Probably not, but this is a pretty new 2x2 at the time that I'm recording this, so I thought it'd be more relevant to most of you guys. But let's get into it. The first step is to disassemble the cube. So the way that I'm going to do that is just use a screwdriver and loosen one of the screws in the core instead of trying to force one of the corners out. So I'll go ahead and do that. Alright, so once you've got it pretty loose, you should be able just to pull a couple pieces out like that. Then like this. And then you can just disassemble the rest of the cube. So now that your cube is completely disassembled, go ahead and separate it into corners, internal pieces with the core, and the center pieces, which we're going to work on right now. So now what you want to do is take the center piece with all the hardware in it and pull out the screw, the spring, and the washer, trying to get it all at once. Sometimes it doesn't all come out. Alright, luckily I got it there. And then just set this down, and we're going to focus on this piece first. As you guys can see, there's actually two lips down in there. You've got one close to the top and one on down in there. We want to put a little bit of lube on both of those. So take your lube, just work out a little bit like that, and work it around that edge. Just until you see that it's completely worked in, and then also do it on the bottom. Like that. So now you want to get your washer and find the smooth side. It looks like this side is kind of sharp. I don't know if you can see that, but this side is more rounded off. So we want to put that facing up toward the spring. So the way I do it is I take this lube, the tip that I have here, put it on there with the smooth side facing up, and then I put it down in like that and just push, and hopefully the lube will catch it and pull it off the tip there. And then you've got that. Now that that's in there, you want to take your lube once again, just work out a little bead like that and put it right on top of the washer. Just like that. That eliminates a lot of the spring noise. Now take your screw with the spring still on it, or you can take the spring off, it doesn't matter. And just like we did in our 3x3 tutorial, you take your lube and you put just a little bit around the edge like that. And that eliminates spring noise on top. As you can see there, it's not a whole bunch of lube, but once the spring gets on it, it stops it from making that little metal noise, that like spring noise that you hear whenever you turn some sides on new cubes. So that really helps out. Once all that's done, reassemble the centerpiece and set it aside. Now you want to do the remaining 5 pieces just like that. So now that you've got all these pieces set up and all the hardware's lubed, what you want to do is grab your core. And as you can see, the design here is a little different than on the old Fengshi 3x3s and 2x2s. These wings actually used to be on every intersection, but now they're just on 3 different places, so it lets us know where our locked inner pieces need to go, and it really helps out. So the way we're going to do this is grab one of these inner wing pieces and slide it on, just like that. You can see how it fits. Then set that down like that. Grab a center piece that we already have, and put it on there while you're holding it all, and just tighten this up just enough to secure it. You don't want it to be too tight, but just enough to where it won't come off. Then lay it over like that and put another center right there. That will lock this wing in effectively enough for us to continue putting the puzzle together. Alright, so now you can see that wing is pretty much locked in there. If we don't mess with it too much, it should be good to go. So now that you're at this point, you want to grab one more wing piece and put it right there, sliding it under that center. And we also want to grab a corner and put it in there like that. So now you can see that we've got 2 wing pieces, 2 centers, and a corner on there. And this is the setup, and it actually won't move. That's the reason we did it in this order. So now grab another wing piece, put it under the corner like that. And then you want to put this last center piece in to lock all this in place. So now that you have those 3 center pieces, 3 wings, and the corner put into place, you can go ahead with the rest of the puzzle and I'll show you how to do that. So now what we're going to do is put a couple more centerpieces in, but loosely, so we can leave room to insert the rest of the pieces. And there's the other one. So you can see that we've purposefully left this top one undone. And what you can do is now take a corner, place it right there. So then once you've got those two in, you can hold them just like that. Then you take a wing piece just like this, put it right in there. Then we'll take another wing, put it right there, just like that. Then put two more corners right here. Where we left this top center out, we can just kind of slide the corners in just like that. And like that. So now you can see that we've got a few places here where we're missing the wing pieces. And what we can do is you can go ahead and just grab those and fit them right down in there, just like that. Now if you see any flash on the pieces like this right here, go ahead and take the knife and just take that off really quick, just like that. And it'll make your cube solve a little better and it won't break off later on in your puzzle. So you can see that we have the whole bottom half of this cube completely assembled. Now what you want to do is take the last remaining centerpiece and attach it to the core. I've always found that my screws stay straighter if I screw them into the core rather than twisting the core onto them. But like I said, leave that really loose. You can see that it's got a ton of play. And then you want to go ahead and insert a wing piece just like that. One corner there. One corner there. Now once you're at this point, this is where I'm going to actually add some of the heavy lube to the actual puzzle. Now the way I lube my 2x2s is by taking heavy lube, like I said, and I put it right along the edge of the centerpieces. Just right there. And right along the wings. Like that. And that. Just so it gets down in between the wings. Now if you want to, you can put some on the actual pieces, but I used Maru Lube for that. So that's all the lube that I'll actually put in this puzzle, because I think if you use a base of heavy silicone lube, it actually fills in all the imperfections in the plastic and it makes it pretty smooth so it can rub over itself. And then if you add a really light lube like Maru Lube or Speedy on top of that, it allows it to be fast. So smooth and fast is the way I'm setting this cube up. If you guys enjoy it, let me know. So at this point, after we've already lubed the cube, take another wing piece, put it right back in there, and then we want another one right over here. Like that. Now once you've got the cube lubed and the wing pieces like that, you can take a corner, put it in that gap we left there. Then you take the other corner, do the same thing. Now that we've left the cube so loose, you can see that we can just open it up like that. You take this inner wing piece, open the cube up, and put that right in there. So now once your cube's fully assembled, you want to go ahead and just turn it a bunch of times. Whether you want to solve it or whatever, it doesn't matter. Just in order to get that lube to travel all the way around the cube and coat all the surfaces that are going to be touching. Then at this point, I get my Maru Lube. And I spread the cube open just like that. And put a drop there. Just make sure it gets in the inner pieces. So a couple drops on that side. Flip the cube over. Put a couple drops on this side. There and there. And then work that in. And you'll actually feel the cube start to speed up as you're doing that, because it sits on top of that heavier lube and it actually speeds your cube up a lot. So at this point, I'm actually going to re-sticker this cube and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back now, and as you can see, we've got the cube completely re-stickered to my liking, and the cube actually performs really well now. It cuts 45, and it reverse cuts about there, almost a little over 3/4 of a piece, I would say. But the cube performs really well, and I think it's because everything that we did to it and all the breaking in. But the only thing left there is to do to a cube that performs like this, as usual guys, is adding the Cubeologist logo. So let's get this thing off here. And we will add it right there. Alright, so there we go. I hope you guys enjoyed this setup video, and I hope it helped you out. Let me know if you guys did this, and let me know if it helped you out. Give it a like if you enjoyed it, and let me know down in the comments if it worked out for you. But as always guys, you'll hear from me really soon, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.